So first of all, Mr. Temple, thank you very much for your time. I know you're very busy, but as you know, there are a lot of us who are concerned. I just want an update of what's going on with Embassy and what the conditions are in regards to the outbreak. So is there anything that you want to share with us today?
Yeah, sure. In fact, today President Ernest Bai of the Republic of Sierra Leone visited for the second time, the centers in Kenema and Kaila, for him to see for himself, to enable him see for himself what actually is going on, And I can tell you that we are fighting Ebola to its logical conclusion in that country. Ebola will get rid of Ebola in that place. It will never see the face of Sierra Leone. We're fighting it spiritually. On Sunday yesterday, in fact, on Friday, we had a Muslim service at the Ebola Cultural Mosque, attended by both Christian and Muslims. They prayed because we're a nation that believes in God. On Sunday yesterday, you have Muslims too, and Christians, over 10 men of God, men and women of God, converged in Maryland with some Muslim cleric. They prayed, for the intervention of the Almighty God to see the logical conclusion of Ebola in our country. You cannot imagine that during the service on Friday, Christians read the Lord's Prayer in a mosque. And even yesterday, the Muslims read the Al-Fatiha, they recited the Al-Fatiha and other surahs in a church, just to get rid of this. And I tell you for free that we are confident that Ebola is going. Now, on the medical area, China has just landed a cargo plane of medicine and other essential equipment to fight Ebola. Here in the USA, Harvard ambassador is traveling to Boston, New Jersey, not only to see the shipment of 240-foot containers, but also to address the Harvard University scholars, on Ebola, and to identify areas of intervention where they can come in, just to see the logical end of Ebola. And as I speak to you, arrangements are now on the way to receive about 5,000 pounds, the weight, we're talking of weight, goods. We're talking of equipment, medicines tomorrow from Georgia, Atlanta, and other parts of the US. They come in here tomorrow between 9 and 1 o'clock. We've just arranged for the storage facility. So we are not sleeping, things are moving. And again, on Saturday, you have the nurses in the metropolis are having a masquerade. And just a few days from now, we're going to have other Sierra Leoneans too. We'll be having sensitization. And as we speak, most of the Sierra Leonean residents in the USA have all bought their cards, their calling cards, and loaded their phones, calling their people, sensitizing them. Ambassador was on the phone since this morning and moving up and about to intensify the educational aspect of it. So things are really moving. We're fighting it.
Now, I read the press release today in regards to the president's visit. And then it mentioned that WHO, he was looking towards WHO to assist in training.
Yeah, sure.
How's that coming along?
Well, Ebola has killed most of our nurses and our specialists. These nurses, to train a personnel takes years. And it costs government huge amount of money. So which is why we need training of trainers now. And also because our nurses have died. So many of them have died. Ebola has killed them, Ebola killed them during the process of saving lives. While they were saving lives, Ebola killed them, you know. So indeed, we need manpower, because we need better equipment, just like Metabiota has entered, has gone in. WHO is still there, and Doctors Without Borders held a meeting this morning with Ambassador Stevens, the head of the Doctors Without Borders was here, and so many other medicals. You have from Britain, other parts of Europe, and even in America. We have people who've worked in America and they're now opting to go and help. Sorry, people Americans who've worked in Sierra Leone and are now going back to help. Indeed, we need manpower. When you have sufficient manpower, then, you know, we can be able to minimize death.
And a lot of people have seen the press release and the interviews with doctors from Doctors Without Borders saying that their resources has been stretched to its limits. What's any update on that, and what's been done in regards to that?
Yes, as I speak today, the international community, you know, have stepped up, you know, and have called for, you know, assistance universally, not only for Sierra Leone, but for all countries affected, you know. And indeed, we know that that's always the case. When there's a crisis, you must expect, you know, stock to go as fast as they can, but they can be replenished. We are very optimistic, and, you know, assistance are coming. If we, the embassy, you know, it's just an embassy, getting assistance from different areas for Sierra Leone, how about those people? You know, everybody knows that they are specialists, you know, they are professionals, and their own work has been to rescue people, to rescue lives, save lives and rescue people, you know. So
at this time they're receiving the resources and the equipment that they need? Well,
I don't know, because I don't know about their stock, I don't know about their data, but as I said, if a plane has just landed in Freetown, a cargo plane from China with about $1.6 million worth of medical equipment and medicines, it tells you that things are happening. We are not alone. You know, we are not alone. Even when President Obama was speaking, you know, he said West Africa is not alone in this, you know.
Also, in regards to the provinces that have been closed off, Kenema and Kailong, are they still right now no access to go in and out of Kenema and Kailong?
Yes, that is sure. There's no access, but that's what the public health emergency is all about. Now, when WHO declared, excuse me, international public state of emergency or health emergency, you know, it means that anybody can be searched. Excuse me. Anybody can be searched who is suspected from coming from an infected area. The person can be screened medically at any airport. They can be stopped. Their movements could be curtailed, you know, and they could be prevented from traveling. All right? At our own local level, you know, it's from you curtail people from traveling from the affected area to another area. You know, you prevent the spread, and that can only be prevented when you impede movement. You know, that's why, you know, it has a legal backing. Because had it not declared, you know, a state of public emergency, health emergency, it would have been otherwise misinterpreted. But now it has the declaration of the president has a legal backing. You know, he invoked.
And how long would that that cordon off? How long would it be going on for? Is there?
Well, that is conditional. It depends, because apparently the president is the father of the nation, and he wants to preserve the life of his people. You know, in his wisdom, he saw that people were becoming infected, and the number of deaths toll were increasing. So that was why he took that decision.
So right now, there's no end date on when they'll open.
No, we can't. You're a media man. You should know that you know, the challenge is a challenge.
Now, there's some comments now that the price of food supply and other resources is starting to increase. People are taking advantage of this. People who already have supplies to inflate prices. What's been done to address that?
Well, it's not unique in Sierra Leone. I'll give you an example here. When America, and Iraq, when America was fighting 2 wars, Afghanistan and Iraq, the cost of fuel soared, isn't it? Not so? Sure. Yeah, we're communicating. Me and you, it's a dialogue, so please.
Yes, definitely.
The cost of goods, the prices of goods was...
When supply goes down.
That's right. It goes up. That's synonymous with any crisis situation. It's a crisis situation, and you have people who thrive in conflict. So the government is not oblivious of the fact that, people cannot decide to do what they feel like doing. But that's the aim of business people. They try to make profit, and so they try to thrive in conflict.
So is there anything in place? Because in time, I would come to the conclusion some of these people won't be able to afford.
Well, initially the government budgeted 21 million United States dollars, to take care of this menace. And the government, out of its own coffers, provided $7 million. And as I speak to you, you have companies, private individuals, private companies, corporate bodies, quasi-public enterprises. All of them are now, making contributions, pumping money. You have the mining companies. You have our other business people. For example, today I heard that Mercury donated a check of 250 million. Africa Minerals, Luto, Seratel, all of them are pumping money, and other private business people. So, and those monies are going there not to make a party, but to take care of the welfare of the people,
So will people be able to purchase goods at least at the point of entry? Would any trade at least be taking place there, or there'll be no goods at all going in and out?
Look, we need to know how Ebola is contacted before those measures, Now, Ebola can be contacted through fluid. What is fluid? Urine, sweat. Urine, sweat, feces, spit, all those things. When one's contact, blood,
right,
and all those things. So the only way you could prevent those things from becoming an agent is when you prevent people from coming together.
Understood. Any update? A lot of people concerned now about Dr. Cole and his conditions. Any update on the condition of Dr. Cole?
Well, as we speak, we're going to get an update, but we learned that he was actually recuperating.
So he's still alive?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because there was some rumors that he may have passed.
No, not so. Actually, even to today, we got people who are discharged, who recovered and discharged from the hospital. It's just the misinformation is another aspect of this Ebola thing. We know that people are, people, that's part of their trade, to send very negative, to thrive in conflict and become very pessimistic, in the handling, in the analysis or in the analysis of certain situations. But as I tell you, the government is not oblivious of the fact that Ebola is a killer. That's why the government is fighting its tooth and nail to minimize the death toll.
Now, there's news also that the border with Guinea has been closed. Is that accurate news?
Well, you know, everybody is trying to prevent a rise in the death toll. As we speak, it's only today we're learning that the U.S. government too is piling pressure on CDC and WHO, you know, to make available the drug, you know, to fast track the process of making, you know, to fast track that research to make available drugs, no matter how tentative they may be, you know, to enable, you know, Ebola become a thing of the past.
So,
but it takes time, you know.
So, in regards to the Guinea border, though, the border is closed.
As we speak, I cannot confirm that because there's no news as of now that tells me that. I was just watching the news before I came down to you.
Okay.
Except perhaps after now, but before I came down and before talking to you, the border was opened.
All right. Now, in regards to the Sierra Leoneans here in America, is there any additional statements that you'd like to share with Sierra Leoneans abroad and Sierra Leoneans on the ground about anything that we didn't touch on?
Well, I can tell you that Sierra Leoneans in America are very concerned about their people back home. But I think what is most important is that we must be able to be courageous and join the fight to educate our people. You know, that Ebola is a killer. And if we should minimize the death toll, our people must be very conscious of the consequences of contracting Ebola. And, you know, I want them to know that, I know they already know, because they are all hands on deck, that indeed the government is not alone in this.
Okay. And final statement, there's some comments going on about the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. And there was an interview with the CEO of London Mining, and he made statements that the minister was not prepared and she didn't plan well. Any comments in regards to some of the comments people are saying about the minister?
That she was not prepared.
That she was not prepared, and that she allowed it to get out of control.
You know, even the United States, I'm quoting the CDC people, the CDC director and the WHO director. All of them, and even the three countries, the heads of state of the three countries, all of them were overwhelmed by the Ebola, by the speed with which Ebola, you know, began killing people. Nobody prepares for it. It's an outbreak, you know, and when it came, you know, the speed with which Ebola came, it took everybody by surprise. This is the first time we're having such a deadly disease in that country, you know. This is the first time we have a laboratory, a Lassa fever laboratory, which was serving the region. So, you know, and this is the first time Ebola is coming from the western part of Africa, you know. So, of course, people were overwhelmed. So, to say that the minister, immediately the Ebola was confirmed, because, you know, you cannot say because somebody begin to experience frequent stooling, vomiting, or body temperature, you conclude. This is health matters, you know. They need to, the ailment must be confirmed in the laboratory, you know. And it was only after the confirmation that they got to know that it was Ebola. But at first, immediately people began complaining of fever, hemorrhagic fever. What the ministry did, the ministry set up a task force, you know, because we have a WHO office in Sierra Leone, You know, they began working with Medicines Sans Frontières and the department, the Ministry of Health. They formed a task force supervised by the country director of WHO in Sierra Leone. You know? So, when people, this is not the time to criticize. You know? Of course, everybody is prone to criticism. But we cannot put the cart before the horse. We're now fighting the Ebola. Let us fight the Ebola and get it out from our midst. Then, you know, then we'll go back to the drawing board to correct where we had gone wrong. But for now, the timing is wrong to begin to apportion blames.
Understood. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.